So, why do people conform? That short video clip gave us two explanations, two terms that are going to come back repeatedly through the rest of the semester, and they are informational influence and normative influence. People may conform due to what we call informational influence. In other words, you are assuming that they must know something more than what you know. I like to remember that I think that the other people must have more information than I do. And in the video, you hear the man say, there are more of them than me. They must know something I don't. So you actually end up doubting your own judgment and conforming with the group. Normative influence, on the other hand, is when you know that they're wrong, but you don't want to shake the boat, right? You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to stand out. Or as I like to say, we want to appear normal or go along with the norms of that group. And we saw that example in the video when the guy says, "Who am I to rock the boat?" So what else breeds conformity? A big part of it has to do with the size of the group. And there's sort of a magic number. The influence of the group increases from about 3 to 5. 3 to 5 breeds more conformity than a group of 1 or 2. It's a lot easier to stand up to 1 or 2 people. But once we hit a group of 5, it doesn't make a big difference after that. Adding 5 more people to get 10 people or another 5 to get 15 really doesn't increase conformity significantly. This chart is from a study that was done. Milgram did some other stuff that wasn't quite as unethical. We'll talk about Milgram in a second. But he did a study where he had people standing outside looking up. If one person was looking up, about 40% of the passers-by would look up. If 2 people were looking up, it approaches 60%, and we see that much larger increase between 3 and 5, but then from 5 on, it doesn't make a significant difference, although we can see those big numbers from 5 on reach about 80 and up to about 85% of people will conform. The next one is unanimity. Students often get unanimity confused with anonymity. Unanimity means how much does everyone else in the group agree? How much are they unanimous? Anonymity would be nobody knows what I think. My response is private. And we saw in that video that when the response was private, when he could write it down, that conformity declined. But unanimity is the group. And we saw the difference in conformity in Ash's experiment when everybody conformed versus having just that one Confederate that also gave the correct answer. At that point, conformity dropped significantly because the group was no longer unanimous. The status matters too. Higher status people have a greater impact on us. We're more likely to conform to people who we perceive to be of a higher status than us. How tight-knit that group is, how cohesive they are. The closer knit the group, the harder it is to not conform. And I think we would all could think of examples where it's tough to stand up to your friends and say, no, I don't want to do this. Versus a group of strangers, it can be a lot easier because that group isn't very close. And then finally, the public response. This is where we get the anonymity, right? The anonymous nature of the response. And if somebody is required to give a public response, they are much more likely to go along with the group while they may be privately disagreeing. All right, we're going to move on and talk about Milgram's study. I want you to read the section in the book titled, the section on Milgram and his study. Oh, Milgram's obedience studies. And also I included another article and a video for you to watch. I hope you take the time to do both of those. All right.